Very.
Comedians notoriously hate award shows, and
You guys
celebrities
fuck with
hate
award
when
shows,
comedians
chat?
host them, because the comedians can't resist the opportunity to get on stage and belittle celebrities during their night of highest honor. But the fans
Like in
love
that
these
bitch.
spectacles because we get to sit back and watch the chaos.
Relax, I'm going to try and be nice. You're global megastars with amazing talent, most of you.
Damn.
A few of you just married well. You know who you are. We all do. We all do.
Today we are going to take a look at some of the funniest, most savage, and painfully awkward moments that have come from comedians at award shows,
right people,
starting with Jerry
real.
Seinfeld, who exposed these ceremonies for what they truly are. Comedy legend Jerry Seinfeld bluntly explained his hatred for award shows while he accepted the Comedian Award presented by HBO in 2007.
Damn.
You don't give awards to comedians. First of all, comedians
sorry,
don't
Ari,
need
feel better.
awards. Awards are for people that are looking for work. We're not looking for work.
Jerry opens with an interesting point. Comedians will
Jerry's
not
a
sell more
dick.
tickets to their
Didn't-
stand-up performances
Didn't Jerry Seinfeld like date like a 16-year-old openly?
based on some pretentious award because being funny is subjective. However, in cinema, receiving an accolade will make producers and directors more interested in hiring an
Openly.
award-winning actor in future films for
Don't be
obvious
bold.
creative and marketing
Look
reasons.
it up.
You know, I don't know why we're so fascinated with actors in this culture. They haven't got a thought in their stupid bedhead, hairdo, mini brains. Why? We must honor this man. Why?
Yeah, Jerry Springer once dated a 16-year-old until she was 18. He took her to the Grammy Awards, multiple baseball games, and they were very open about their relationship. Boom, in 2002.
Why? He
That's
pretended to be
insane.
Bob
No,
Johnson.
Jerry Seinfeld, my bad. What's
Playing
T?
dress up and pretend is not genius, ladies and gentlemen. It's not genius. Roll the cameras, put on these clothes, stand there, ready, say what we told you to say. Fantastic. He did it. Give this man a huge golden trophy. He's a goddamn genius.
As an actor himself, I'm sure Jerry is just joking here. However, comedians are often writers, directors, producers, and performers of their own material. Ironically, it kind of makes them
Damn.
more deserving of these esteemed awards.
And secondly, and even more important, is
weird
your whole
sick.
career as a comedian is about making fun of pretentious, high-minded,
real
self-congratulatory BS events like this one. The whole feeling in this room of reverence and honoring is the exact opposite of everything I have wanted my life to be about.
Now, him clearly expressing disdain for these ceremonies might come as a surprise to
Damn.
you, but comedians before and after
bet they
him have
never
felt
asked
the
him to
exact
come
same
back.
hatred, like Don Rickles, who paved the way for comedians after him to unapologetically say what's on their mind.
I am so excited to get this Cockamamie Award.
While you may think it's disrespectful to just make fun of an award you're being honored for, it's hard to take it seriously when there are so many award shows that you can't even keep track of them. You have the
Real.
Golden Globes, the Emmys, the Grammys, Directors Guild of America Awards, the BAFTA Awards, Screen Actors Guild Awards, Producers Guild of America Awards, Writers Guild of America
Chat, we
Awards,
should make
the
our own
Oscars,
awards.
MTV Video Music Awards, BET Awards, American Music Awards, and that's not even all of them. These people spend more
Like
time
30 shows
celebrating
a
than they
year.
do creating.
I get this wonderful TV Land Award, and whoever designed it is a moron.
Now, I'm sure you all know the typical structure of these events. One person will be the host of the entire night, but different celebrities will take the stage to present each award. Usually, these celebs read their lines off teleprompters, and often they are reading bad jokes that someone else wrote with terrible delivery.
We're here to present the VMA to the best group, and we love everything that has to do with groups. You have group therapy, group hugs, groupies.
Very exciting for both of us because
Damn,
we're both nominated.
groupies.
Actually, James, I'm not nominated tonight.
Come on, Ann, don't be so modest.
No, I'm not modest. I'm just not nominated. It used to be, you get naked, you get nominated. Not anymore. Not anymore.
Which made Don's subtle
Yeah,
jab
wait.
about reading from the
Did she get
teleprompter
naked?
that much funnier.
Let's read these funny lines they wrote for us.
Okay.
Don then goes on to sarcastically laugh at the jokes.
First, it's a thrill to be matched up at the Emmy Awards with Mr. Warmth himself, Don Rickles. The world hasn't seen a pairing like this since John McCain and Sarah Palin.
It's the deep layers of irony that make Don's delivery so good. These celebrities know award shows are pompous. They also know Don isn't afraid to call them out on their bullshit. Yet even before he can get the jokes out, they already laugh and applaud the comic legend. But don't you dare try to interrupt one of his punchlines.
Oh, Julia Roberts, you live next to me at the beach, you know that. Thanks for all the visits. Anyway, I'm living about 2 blocks from you. The broad never shows up. Come by and say hello.
Closer than 2 blocks.
You have no lines, Julia, just nod. Anyway,
And even if the entire ceremony is dedicated to one person, like when Martin Scorsese received a tribute for the AFI Life Achievement Award, Don Rickles will humble them.
Marty, you are the most annoying director I ever had in my
little guy, he's the kind of guy in prison, was the squealer all the time. Pulling on your pants leg going, let's do it again. Marty.
Damn.
When we see all the films you did, none of them were great.
But if you feel bad for Martin, don't worry. Clint Eastwood got the same treatment the previous year.
Clint, I say it, nobody else has said it, and I say it from my heart. You're a lousy actor.
Pussies you ever heard.
This is why you can never get too comfortable at these gatherings, like when David Mann was presenting at the Neighborhood Awards and Lavelle Crawford caught a stray fat joke.
Anybody got some chicken, an extra piece of chicken? Lavelle, I know you got some.
Damn.
Hey, take your jacket off and cover that side of the audience up.
I think we can all agree that the best moments come from the host directly sniping one of the members of the audience.
It's a big year for Jack. He also got in a hot tub with Kathy Bates. But hey, who hasn't?
Damn.
One of the most savage roasts came from Amy Poehler at the 2013 Golden Globes.
Lavelle
She introduced director
Crawford.
Kathryn Bigelow, who was previously married to
Easily
famous
offended
director
Rio.
James Cameron. Kathryn was nominated for Best Director for the film Zero Dark 30, which received a
never
ton of
seen that
criticism for
movie.
glorifying CIA torture in the film.
Haven't really been following the controversy over Zero Dark 30, but when it comes to torture, I trust the lady who spent 3 years married to James Cameron.
Damn.
Amy has built herself a reputation for kind of being a
Oh
roast
shit,
master.
I see it
Yes,
now.
Matt Damon is here for Behind the Candelabra.
Joker in the
Where are you,
audience.
Matt?
Didn't see
Matt,
it.
on any other night in any other room, you would be a big deal, but tonight, and don't take this the wrong way, you're basically a garbage person.
Oh, and Tina Fey is damn good too.
Gravity is nominated for Best Film. It's the story of how George Clooney would rather float away into space and die than spend one more minute with a woman his own age.
Damn!
But sometimes making
Joaquin
jokes about
Phoenix.
celebrities doesn't always go over well, like the time Sarah Silverman made fun of Britney Spears' children at the 2007 VMAs.
But have you seen Britney's kids? Oh my God, they are the most adorable mistakes you will ever see. They are so cute. They're as cute as the hairless vagina they came out of. I'm serious, they're this cute, you guys.
The audience didn't think this joke was very funny, but this was back in 2007 when the internet didn't have a
Damn.
full-force grip on everyone's lives, so nobody was
Real.
tweeting their outrage against Sarah. That was not the case for Bill Burr, who made a bunch of jokes at the 2021 Grammys
Damn.
pre-show that caused
kinda fuck
uproar
with Bill
online.
Burr, but
After a beautiful
he says
piano
some
solo
crazy
from
takes.
Igor Levitt, Bill was brought on stage and said this.
How are you? Was I the only one who wanted to kill himself during that piano solo?
Critics exploded online,
Yikes.
scolding Bill for making such a distasteful joke during a night of honor and praise. Little did critics know, it was only going to get worse. Bill immediately followed up by making fun of the Grammys pre-show as he thought he was going to be hosting the actual Grammys, only for him to show up to an empty Hollywood set presenting awards to a handful of producers and a few thousand people watching on the internet.
I bought a suit for this. I thought I was going to be on TV. I'm such a moron. I am losing so much money right now.
For some reason, they had Bill, a white man from Boston with absolutely no musical talent or knowledge, present all of the Latin music awards and nominees.
That's crazy.
All right. Hey, how many feminists are like going nuts? So why is this cis white male doing all this Latino stuff?
And he unsurprisingly butchered just about every name.
I can't say this name. Natalie what? All right.
That's
and the
so
winner,
bad.
the Grammy goes to
Divide
Natalia
every-
Lafourcade.
Yo,
And the
cracking
Grammy
yourself
goes
up. This is
to
low-key
Gustavo
funny.
Dudamel.
It's 'cause, like,
conducting the Los
he
Angeles
would not be the one you
Philharmonic.
would
I'll
expect.
be accepting the Grammy on behalf of Gustavo Dudamel. Congratulations. Crushed that one. And the Grammy goes to Frederick Ballantyne, Angel Blue, Dead Sea Graves.
Because of people's outrage, some comedians don't
Jeez.
think it's worth it to host anymore, like Kevin Hart, who decided to drop out of hosting the Academy Awards after he was attacked on Twitter for his unsavory humor. Kevin Hart was announced to be the host of the
More funny,
2019
there's no one
Oscars,
there
and immediately
laughing.
Twitter
He's
erupted,
just talking
where
to a
detractors
camera.
posted a series of old homophobic tweets. Nearly all of them were just really bad jokes that seem relatively menial. However, one stood out more than most. Kevin Hart tweeted, "Yo, if my son comes home and tries to play with my daughter's dollhouse, I'm going to break it over his head and say in my voice, 'Stop, that's gay.'" Critics also
Damn.
resurfaced an old joke from his iconic 2010
Wow,
comedy
Tony
special,
Tom
Seriously
Prompter.
Funny.
I'm gonna tell you guys one of my biggest fears. One of my biggest fears is my
Admitting
son
audience.
growing up and being gay. Hey, stop! That's gay. It's quick.
Kevin had apologized for these
Damn.
previous words in 2012. In 2015, he also addressed using gay jokes in his film Get Hard.
Did you think this is mildly mean-spirited or at the very least a little bit dated?
I said to myself, this is funny.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, funny is funny, regardless of what area it's coming from.
Within 48 hours of the host announcement, Kevin claims he was given an ultimatum.
I was given an ultimatum. Kevin, apologize, or we're gonna have to find another host.
So he ultimately decided to step down. Kevin did not host the Oscars and said recently in 2024 that he would never consider it ever again. Those gigs
That's
aren't good gigs for
crazy.
comics. It's no shot to the Oscars, no shot to the Globes or anything else. Those just aren't comedy-friendly environments anymore. Many people like Kevin believe that comedy
Damn.
is under a microscope these days, but it isn't even just everyday
pick a
people online that
struggle
get
that
offended.
it's
Sometimes it's the
satire.
A-list stars who, even though they are in the entertainment industry themselves, get offended. Like I've noticed that Tom Hanks always has a sour look on his face. Anyone in the audience not laughing is terrified of
Bro, do you guys think that Tom Hanks is low-key evil? I've heard some conspiracies about Tom Hanks and some things that he's low-key evil.
being next.
A lot of
One
dark
A-lister
stuff
who
about
did
him.
not like being the butt of
Oh,
the joke was Jada
God.
Pinkett Smith, and her husband's reaction
Jada
stamped one of the
Pinkett
craziest award show moments of all time. During the 2022 Oscars, Chris Rock was presenting the award
the
for
dark
Best
side.
Documentary Feature. Naturally, he opened with some jokes.
You know who's got the hardest job tonight? Javier Bardem and his wife are both nominated. Now, if she loses, he can't win. He is praying that Will Smith wins. Like, please.
Everything was going great until he transitioned to a joke about Jada Pinkett. Now, Chris had a joke during the 2016 Oscars about Jada that the crowd loved.
Jada's gonna boycott the Oscars. Jada boycotting the Oscars is like me boycotting Rihanna's panties. I wasn't invited.
Ironically, this joke was way harsher than the one he was about to deliver. Chris made a joke about Jada, who has spoken openly
no, for
about having
real,
alopecia, a hair loss condition. Chris compared Jada to Lieutenant Jordan O'Neill, the star of G.I. Jane, notorious for her short, buzz-cut hairstyle. Based on Jada's expression, she did not like the joke. Will, on the other hand, was laughing.
Damn.
It's unclear if he was trying to mask his anger by laughing,
That's
or if he
crazy,
genuinely thought the
Chad.
joke was funny. But then the camera cuts back to Chris and we can see Will storming the stage until he ultimately smacks Chris in the face. He sits back in his
That was
seat and
such a
yells at
nice
Chris,
form
"Keep my
slap."
wife's name out of your mouth." The deafening silence in the room permeated when the audience realized this was not scripted, and Chris tried to make sense of what just happened. This encounter made comedians hate award shows even more because
Real
Will
turd.
faced zero repercussions
Oh my
for
God,
his
Will
actions.
Ferrell-
He was
not Will
not kicked
Ferrell. Will
out, he was
Smith
not
looks
spoken
weird
to by the
sometimes.
show organizers.
That's so crazy. He just sat there for the rest of the show.
In fact, he won his first Oscar for Best Actor later on in the evening. He gave a 5-minute speech rambling and crying about how God is calling him to love people and to protect people. He received a standing ovation with Hollywood actors crying in support of him. The standing ovation made me realize how detached Hollywood is from reality. The slap incident is likely why we got the extremely safe and not edgy Jimmy Kimmel to host the awards for the next 2 years, and they were about as funny as you could imagine.
Christopher is joined by his longtime collaborator, Cillian Murphy, who is just wonderful. Cillian is...
Oh, he's I mean, real though. He handled business and then went on with the show.
Drama, when he does comedy, it's
chillin'.
Actually, I take that back. The reason why we'll never get a good comedian to host an award show again is not because of Will Smith. It's because of Ricky Gervais, who unleashed an onslaught of savage roasts and jokes towards the guests, sponsors, and even the networks who host these events. Ricky exposed Hollywood so badly at the 2020 Golden Globes that no organizer will dare set themselves up to get decimated like that again. Ricky Gervais is a British comedian who is known to push the boundaries with extremely edgy material. Politics, social issues, race, religion, there is absolutely nothing Ricky won't joke about. If people thought that Kevin Hart's material pushed the boundaries, Ricky makes Kevin look like a comedian for children. So how he was able to host the Golden Globes 5 times is pretty insane. The first time he hosted was in 2010, and yes, he was still a savage back then. As soon as he stepped on stage, he started attacking Steve Carell.
You probably know me as the creator of The Office. No, you don't, do you?
You think Steve Carell did it all? Oh, he's brilliant, isn't he, Steve Carell?
Damn.
He's amazing as the bumbling office manager. Where does he get his ideas from? Let's play.
If you don't know, Ricky Gervais created a British comedy show called The Office in 2001,
That's
4 years
crazy.
before the American version. Ricky's show only lasted 1 season, but is filmed the exact same way. No music, long awkward pauses, deadpan humor, semi-realistic but also extremely unrelatable chaos in the work environment. The premise of the show is the exact same, and only die-hard fans of the American version would argue how it's different. Ricky, like the savage he is, goes on to promote his version of the show, as well as roasting the network hosting the event.
Or if you think that particular version of the show has jumped the shark a little bit, then watch the original. Fridays on Adult Swim. Or get the box set, that's still available. So go and get that. I will be making the most of this opportunity. I'm not used to these sort of viewing figures. Let's face it, nor is NBC. So...
He then goes on to belittle actors' value to the world. Notice how they almost clap for themselves.
It is an honour to be here in a room full of what I consider to be the most important people on the planet. Actors. They're just better than ordinary people, aren't they? We all know that.
Really.
Imagine a world without actors.
Honestly.
Oh, God, it doesn't bear thinking about it. Imagine if they ever went on strike. Oh, what would we do? You couldn't replace them. You couldn't replace them with any other profession, lawyers or doctors. Can you imagine a real surgeon doing what Hugh Laurie does in-house? It would be pathetic. He'd be all over the place. We're going, oh, where do I stand? How's my American accent? What's my lines? You know?
Hugh Laurie did not like that joke. Another celebrity not very fond of Ricky's jokes was Mel Gibson. Mel has struggled with alcoholism since he was 13 years old. He is also known in Hollywood to be pretty outwardly anti-Semitic. In 2006, he got arrested for a DUI and then proceeded to blame Jews for all the wars around the world before threatening the police officer. So Ricky had to take a jab.
I haven't offended anyone. I didn't mean... It's not my fault. There's a lot of powerful people here, so if I said... It's... Honestly, I like a drink as much as the next man. Unless the next man is Mel Gibson.
Ricky's comments throughout the night felt distasteful to many around the world, but numbers don't lie, and he drove NBC's ratings through the roof. The 67th Annual Golden Globe Awards presents NBC with its biggest non-sports viewership in the slot in 6 years. The Golden Globe Awards gains 12% in adults 18 to 49 and 14% in total viewers versus last year's telecast. So he was invited back again the next year.
So not nominated, I Love You, Philip Morris, Jim Carrey and Ewan McGregor, 2 heterosexual actors pretending to be gay. So the complete opposite of some famous Scientologists, then. What?
Damn.
Probably. My lawyers helped me with the wording of that joke.
Ricky set the tone for the night that 2011 would be even crazier than 2010, immediately attacking the nominees, specifically The Tourist, which was a 2010 film led by Johnny Depp and Angelina Jolie that was nominated for Best Motion Picture.
It was a big year for 3D movies. Toy Story, Despicable Me, Tron. Seems like everything this year was three-dimensional. Except the characters in The Tourist. I feel bad about that joke. No, I'll tell you why. I'm jumping on the bandwagon, because I haven't even seen The Tourist. Who has? But no.
The Tourist was notoriously a terrible movie, and many wondered why it was nominated in the first place. Well, if you understand how Golden Globes are chosen, it might make a bit more sense. The Hollywood Foreign Press is a voting body of about 90 journalists that determine who gets nominated and wins the trophy. To get into the HFPA, you must write for a foreign publication but live in Los Angeles. It's no secret that members of the HFPA like to use their status to mingle with celebrities. It's like if I had a real vote on who wins a Grammy and I started hitting up rappers to have dinner with me. They might entertain it because theoretically I could help them win an award. So you will notice Ricky often says the Hollywood Foreign Press is corrupt.
It must be good because it's nominated, so shut up, okay? And I'd like to quash this ridiculous rumour going around that the only reason The Tourist was nominated was so the Hollywood Foreign Press could hang out with Johnny Depp and Angelina Jolie. That is rubbish. That is not the only reason. They also accepted bribes.
Ricky also had to take more shots at Mel Gibson.
Our first presenter is beautiful, talented, and Jewish, apparently. Mel Gibson told me that. He's obsessed.
And of course he had to dig into Steve Carell some more.
That's funny as fuck.
Was a jobbing actor, career not going that well if I'm being totally honest, who got his big break when I cast him in a remake of a show that I created called The Office. He's now leaving that show and killing a cash cow for both of us. Please welcome the wonderful Tina Fey and the ungrateful Steve Carell!
Unlikely to come out with when I find out.
It's important to know that Ricky doesn't actually have hard feelings for Steve. They are both in on the joke and love to play up the bit.
It's funny. He always makes fun of me, always. And he's also, you know, in a personal way, been very, very sweet to me. Like before one of these award shows, he pulled me aside and said, "Hey, I've got a few things that I wanted to go after you with. Is that okay?" I'm like, "Of course." So there is a gentler side to him that people don't necessarily see.
He's such a lovely man, though.
But he thinks you're sweet because, just to clarify, you go up to him before an award ceremony and say, "I'm going to call you a prick in a minute," just to warn you.
But if I told him what I was going to say, you know, if I had access to them, I'd warn everyone.
Some people just don't like the idea of a person being the butt of someone's joke, so they definitely wouldn't like this stray that Sandra Bullock caught at the end of the night.
The next presenter is a national treasure. Miss Congeniality herself. This down-to-earth girl next door first stole our hearts as a bus driver and then as a railway fare collector. Now, of course, she wouldn't be seen dead on public transport because as she just said to me backstage, poor people are gross and they smell bad. Please welcome Sandra Bullock.
Surely, after these attacks, he wouldn't be brought back to host the 2012 awards. After all, the Hollywood Foreign Press did not want him back, with one member stating, "My worry was that he was insulting, and when I invite someone to my house, they don't insult me. But this is show business. I guess I'm old-fashioned." But NBC was strongly in favor of Gervais returning because the ratings were just as good as they were last year, with 17 million live viewers for the entire show. So they decided to bring him back for a third year, and he was as unhinged as ever, opening with lines that proved he could care less about this special evening.
Tonight, you get Britain's biggest comedian hosting the world's second biggest award show on America's third biggest network. Sorry, it's fourth. It's fourth. For any of you who don't know, the Golden Globes are just like the Oscars, but without all that esteem.
The first presenter he brought up was Johnny Depp, and he called back to his previous joke last year about his movie, The Tourist.
Have you... Ready?
I guess so.
Have you seen The Tourist yet?
Have you? No.
The lead actor of a movie that was nominated for a Golden Globe, admitting that he didn't even watch his own movie the following year, says just about everything you need to know about the value of these awards. Celebrities, like Elton John, have had enough of Ricky's nonsense. Even Ricky wrote on his blog after the event, "I've told my agent to never let me be persuaded to do it again, but then 2016 came around and Gervais was made an offer he couldn't refuse." He tweeted, "I'm making a list, I'm checking it twice, gonna find out who's naughty and nice. Hashtag Golden Globes." Ricky genuinely believed he would never be back, so he made the 2016 Golden Globes his most diabolical performance ever.
Ricky's like, dude, I gotta make it where they stop offering me this shit.
Shush.
I can't be mad.
Shut up. You disgusting, pill-popping, sexual deviant scum. I want to do this monologue.
He's not even joking.
And then go into hiding.
Ricky kept reassuring everyone in the crowd he would be nice this evening. He was lying.
I am going to be nice tonight, and I'll tell you why. The president of the Hollywood Foreign Press just told me that if I say anything offensive or crass or resort to innuendo, he is going to come out here and personally pull me off. So that's an offer I couldn't refuse. Yes, that is the level. An old man pulling me off.
And then again insinuated that this award show is corrupt.
One Hollywood publication said that me hosting would mean that some film stars would stay away for fear of being made fun of. As if film stars would stay away from the chance of winning a Golden Globe, particularly if their film company has already paid for it.
Everyone is clapping and laughing because they know it's true. Ricky continued to just minimize and bash the award show every which way he could.
All-female remakes are the big thing. There's a female remake of Ghostbusters. There's going to be a female remake of Ocean's 11. And this is brilliant for the studios because they get guaranteed box office results and they don't have to spend too much money on the cast. So...
Damn!
Shut up, I don't care. If you do win tonight, remember that no one cares about that award as much as you do, okay? Don't get emotional. Wow. It's embarrassing, okay? That award is, no offense, worthless. It's a bit of metal that some nice old confused journalists wanted to give you in person so they could meet you and have a selfie with you.
Honestly, there's nothing more I can say to add to this.
Eva Longoria and America Ferrera aren't just beautiful, talented actresses. They're also two people who your future president, Donald Trump, can't wait to deport.
But I'm sure you can tell the energy of this show feels different than previous years. The first 3 shows he hosted, he was more playful, often chuckling to himself devilishly. But this show, he seems more fed up and actually just trying to be blunt.
Oh, this show is way too long, isn't it? It's way too... This could be half an hour. Okay, let's get through it.
Yeah.
Right.
He sounded serious.
Unbelievable. Some people still think this award means something. The winners, just listen to me. Listen, it doesn't just... Right. When Brad and Angelina see our next 2 adorable little presenters, they're going to want to adopt them.
Your future president.
Please welcome Kevin Hart and Ken Jeong.
Well, this was back
and for some reason, the producers decided it would be a good idea for Ricky to introduce Mel Gibson, who he had previously attacked multiple times, and this time would be no different.
Listen, I'm sure it's embarrassing for both of us, okay? And I blame NBC for this terrible situation. Mel blames... We know who Mel blames.
Damn!
Mel's forgotten all about it, apparently. That's what drinking does. No.
Jeez.
I want to say something
Is that
nice
Harvey
about Mel
Weinstein? Was that Harvey Weinstein? That's crazy.
Comes out.
What he said.
Oh yeah, okay, here you go. I'd rather have a drink with him in his hotel room tonight than with Bill Cosby. Please welcome Mel Gibson.
Damn, that's wild.
The night concludes, celebrities are angry, the Hollywood Foreign Press is angry, Mel Gibson is angry, Ricky Gervais is never coming back. Until 2020, where they asked him to host for the 5th time.
No way!
People were shocked. Ricky was shocked. And if we thought his 2016 show was direct and less playful, 2020 felt like he did not tell one joke, but rather just
Bro, there's no way they brought this man back.
Statements of how much he hates Hollywood.
You'll be pleased to know this is the last time I'm hosting these awards, so I don't care anymore. I'm joking. I never did. NBC clearly don't care either. 5th time. So, I mean, Kevin Hart was fired from the Oscars because of some offensive tweets. Hello? Lucky for me, the Hollywood Foreign Press can barely speak English.
He immediately set the stage that he would go out with a bang, and timbers were shivered.
People from every background, but they all have one thing in common. They're all terrified of Ronan Farrow. He's coming for you. He's coming for you. Look, talking of all you perverts, it was a big year. It was a big year for paedophile movies. Surviving R. Kelly, Leaving Neverland, Two Popes. Shut up. Shut up. I don't care. I don't care.
Ronan Farrow is the son of Woody Allen, who became a journalist and led the charge in exposing Harvey Weinstein for his decades of sex crimes inside the film industry.
Spoiler alert, season 2 is on the way, so in the end, he obviously didn't kill himself. Just like Jeffrey Epstein. Shut up. I know he's your friend, but I don't care.
Damn! Oh my god, bro.
You had to make your own way here in your own plane, didn't you? Right.
Tom Hanks didn't like that one.
Many talented people of colour were snubbed in major categories. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that. The Hollywood Foreign Press are all very, very racist. So
it baffles me how most of Ricky's harshest roasts since 2010 were towards the organizers of the event, and they still hired him 5 times. But the ending of his monologue was not a joke.
So, if you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform to make a political speech, right? You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the real world. Most of you spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg. So, if you win, right, come up, accept your little award, thank your agent and your God, and f*** off, okay?
His wit and his charm we saw in previous years was no longer present. He had used it all up.
Our next presenter starred in Netflix's Bird Box, a movie where people survive by acting like they don't see a thing. Sort of like working for Harvey Weinstein. You did it. I didn't. You did it. Shut the f*** up.
Fans absolutely loved Ricky's direct
That's nuts!
attacks on the privileged class. These harsh jokes are likely the most adversity they had to face all year. Classically, journalists hated his performance. Rolling Stone said, the host's shtick at the 2020 Golden Globes felt incredibly stale. Salon said, why the Golden Globes and host Ricky Gervais felt particularly pointless. Variety said, but most of the time, his stand-up seemed lazy. Which is true. It was kinda lazy, because it didn't seem like he was joking. But hey, if these celebrities are gonna congratulate themselves over a dozen times per year with superficial awards and trophies, then they need a comedian to humble them. But I think we can all agree that the real winners of these events are the fans, who get to laugh and reminisce on the comedic chaos that ensued at the expense of multi-millionaires.
That was fucking dope.